Awesome. Okay, great. All right, so at 7 o'clock, I am calling to order the November 1st, 2023 meeting of the West Concord Advisory Committee. I'm going to just go ahead and call the roll for the record to make certain that all our committee members are here. So let's see, I will start with Nicole Hammond.
Here.
Great. Ann Sussman. Can you say, just audibly say hello or say hi or that you're here?
Here. Sorry, I was on.
Yeah, that's okay. All right. John Cooley.
Here.
Barbara Morse.
Here.
Great. And then we have Anna Feldwig, our newest member. Anna, welcome. And are you here?
Yeah, I am here.
Yay. All right. Great. And me, Susan Molotozenik, I'm the chair. I am here too. So we're calling the meeting to order. Let's see. We have an agenda, and on that agenda, we are slated to go through some minutes that Nicole has prepared for us. And I'm wondering, Nicole, if it would be possible for you to share your screen so we can see your copy of the minutes, and then we can just provide any adjustments and you can make them on the fly. Would that work?
So I thought they were going to be sent out. I sent you an email earlier today to see if it should have been me to distribute them or if I don't have them up and ready to share.
Oh, okay. All
I
right.
don't
Well,
know how to do that.
okay, that's fine. I do, and I got a chance to send them out a little bit after 6, so I apologize for that. But I think that they're simple and straightforward enough that we might be able to just look them over and approve them in the next few minutes if everyone's okay with that. Okay, so with that, let me see if I can share the correct screen here. Right. And great, I have these up. All right, so this is Nicole's copy with a couple of notes that I started making on here. So I'm going to just say one thing and then we can all like quietly read these and put in our changes. But I think the meeting that Nicole took notes for is actually the September 6th meeting, even though it seems like it was very recent. The October 4th one is the one that I need to still get the recording for. So if everyone's okay, I'm going to just change this. Okay, great. And let's see, I'm going to correct the spelling of my name. We had everyone present. Okay, and so our presenter that night was the developer for the 1053 Main and 80X property, the one that's kind of across from Concord Green. So yeah, Matt Sip, that looks right. I happen to know how to spell Greg's last name, so I'll put that in.
My name is W-E-G at the end.
Oh, great, okay. G, great. Take this comma out. Kristen, Denaro, and Paul. All right. So yeah, I wanted to put in an L here. Oops. Oh my goodness. Okay, so this was, yeah, a description of the project, 2.2 acres, subdivision of 5 lots. John had asked about affordable housing there, and the developer said that the abutters favor lower density, and so we're not doing, or he's not proposing more than single family homes or open space. And then we reviewed this issue with the sewer, which the sewer can only be tied in for, I think, like 1 or 2 units. And then they're going to need septic for the rest of the units, which also increases the amount of space needed in the yard, I think. Okay. Members of the public asked about the size of the homes. I remember asking about if they're going to be all electric. And then we were talking about the sidewalks. Yeah, and I think they were wanting to have minimal sidewalks there. Oh, I had a question about this here, and Barbara, maybe you can clarify. You had asked about I guess, the part of the development that goes out towards Old Bridge Road, and could it connect the 2 neighborhoods?
I think it was, the word might have been path.
Okay,
We talked about a path that's going to be there, but that it will not connect.
okay. So could it connect the 2 neighborhoods on foot? Sidewalks for. Does anyone remember what the answer was about connecting the 2 neighborhoods?
I believe it was a yes.
Okay. So it was probably Matt Safe that said yes. We voted on Anna. And then we had some very brief updates about 166 Com Ave, complete streets, signage, district. Campuses. For parking. Okay. This looks about right to me. Anyone else have any changes as we were going through these? Okay, so we can take a vote on approving these minutes. So I propose that we approve these minutes. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, John seconded. So we'll go through and make sure that everybody unanimously approves. So John, do you approve?
Yes.
Barbara, do you approve? Oh, could you turn yourself off mute? Barbara's having a hard time. She doesn't look like she's on mute, but I can't hear you, Barbara. All right, well, so I'll move on to another committee member and then we'll circle back to Barbara. Anna, do you approve?
Yes.
Nicole, do you approve?
Yes.
And let's see, Anne, do you approve?
Yes.
Awesome. All right, let's get back to Barbara and see if she has. I can see her talking. And she might be writing yes on a piece of paper. I'm not sure. She's going to hold it up. Let's see. All right. I think I see a yes. Yeah. Okay. So yes, Barbara has approved. So the minutes are unanimously approved. Thanks, everyone. And I will go ahead and save these and send them off to be posted. Awesome. So thanks, Nicole, for taking them. And I'm wondering, Barbara, if I can ask you to take the minutes for this particular meeting. Would that work for you? Sorry to ask you sort of belatedly. I don't think very much has happened, and the recording will be up, so you could always fill in on these first few minutes. We just approved the minutes actually. All right. So I think our next order of business is to hear from the developers of 166 Com Ave. We welcome them to our meeting, and I just want to remind everyone that we should have a spirit of positivity and inquisitiveness and curiousness about these plans, and make sure that we give the developers a chance to express their point of view and give our point of view in a constructive way. So with that, I think maybe I can turn over sharing to, would I be sharing to you, Thomas?
No, actually, Helen will will be sharing it. Good evening. We're happy to be here before you again tonight. As you remember, we were here a number of months ago, and the project at that time contained 10 residential units, small space retail, and a restaurant. And the restaurant, because of the concerns about traffic and parking and where the dumpster would go and things like that, we listened to input from you and from other boards, committees, and staff, and went back to the drawing boards. And now the project does not include the restaurant. That's been eliminated in favor of 2 additional units. With that, of course, the parking demand of the traffic and those issues effectively go away from our perspective, as does the parking requirement. So we still need relief from parking, but not nearly for any number that approached what we needed for the restaurant. Also eliminated the dumpster because we don't need that anymore. So I think we've, in the redo of the plans, have addressed the major concerns, we believe. And with that, I'll turn it over to Pellin, who can then take you through the project with a couple of visuals.
Great.
Okay, I will share my screen in a second. Hi, everyone. Do you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, good evening, everyone again. So my name is Pelin, and in the course of this presentation, I'll be sharing with you a series of conceptual drawings and renderings to provide you a visual understanding of the project and its overreaching objectives. So I would like to start with the project statement. So the conceptual idea of this project is to enhance connectivity and accessibility between the utilized riverfront area and the residential units, as well as the residents of Concord. And this will be achieved by establishing a public circulation pathway throughout the green axis that we created at the riverfront, while accommodating necessary parking on the right narrower side of the lot where the roadways are intersect. And the project aims to address several key objectives. By connecting the riverfront area with the residential units, the project seeks to create an integrated environment. This encourages residents and visitors to enjoy the riverfront while maintaining easy access to their homes and to the Bruce Freeman Rail Trail. And the aim is to create more cohesive and walkable urban environment. This can enhance the quality of life for residents. The establishment of the green axis as a public circulation route serves to promote pedestrian and cyclist mobility. And this is not only provides a scenic pathway for the community, but also encourage a sustainable transportation method and reducing the dependence on cars. And allocating necessary parkings on the right side optimizes the land use. The design approach minimizes the impact of parking areas on the riverfront side and the residential spaces, while ensuring that residents and visitors have convenient access to the parking facilities. The project also incorporates a variety of sustainability elements aimed to reduce its environmental impact and enhancing the overall quality of life for its residents. So the project prioritize pedestrian accessibility and encourage the use of public transportations. It is located closer to the bus and train station within a walking distance of 5 to 6 minutes, making it convenient for residents to use eco-friendly modes of transport and reducing the need for personal vehicles and lowering the carbon emission. We are designing a mixed-use building, including a small retail space on the first floor and 12 units in total on the first, second, and third floor. The footprint is 7,472.2 square feet. And we are designing 14 parking spaces, which of them are handicapped parking spots. One of them is dedicated to retail and one for the residential. So a total of 2 spots are dedicated to the retail space and 12 for the residential. We are providing indoor and outdoor bike storages to encourage green transportation. And the driveway design has changed according to the comments and suggestions we received. And we have a new driveway opening on the Commonwealth Avenue, which allows only one way out. And this way cars will be able to have a better circulation path in the site. And also it will be safer for pedestrians and vehicles. We have changed the first floor layout and we are no longer proposing a restaurant. And instead, we are proposing 2 residential units on the first floor, one of them having a larger terrace at the Commonwealth Avenue side, and the other one has a smaller terrace on the rear side. And the building, the building entry is in the middle of the building where we have a setback portion, which gives a privacy for the front entry and also creates a rhythm at the facade at the same time. The common areas and the management offices are on the first floor. There are 2 more entrances on the residential area, one from the Green River front side and one from the parking lot side to allow easy access to the building from everywhere. And we are also no longer proposing dumpsters since we are not proposing the restaurant, which was requiring the dumpsters. So now there is a trash room on the first floor that can be accessed from the parking lot, and trashes can be taken regularly from the parking lot by the companies. So we are not creating any bad views from any angle of the streets with the screen dumpster in the parking lot anymore. We are proposing 2 electric vehicle charging stations, one for the handicapped parking spaces and one for the standard parking spots. And we are designing 12 residential units, as I said, 2 on the first floor and 5 of them are on the second and 5 of them are on the third floor. Each unit has at least 1 balcony, which is larger than 25 square feet and count as open space. The units are highlighted with different colors showing the bedrooms and bathroom amounts and with the legend. There are 2, 3, 1 bedrooms and bathrooms and the combinations. So the outdoor engagement and connection with the nature is very important for our project, and the project leverage its riverfront location. The utilization of the riverfront area for walking, biking paths allows residents to enjoy the beauty of the river. And additionally, we are proposing a roof deck, which offers a panoramic view of the surroundings and further enhancing the outdoor experience. To promote that, we also designed roof gardens. Each unit features roof gardens that serve multiple purposes. Residents can cultivate their favorite herbs and plants, promoting a sense of ownership and connection with the environment. These gardens also contribute to local biodiversity and also improve the air quality. There's also a common roof deck that residents can use and have common activities. We can consider having grills and other features on the roof deck according to the suggestions. So we are open to any idea to make this building more functioning for the residents. We also collect rainwater from the rooftops and hardscapes, which are then reused for the roof gardens and native plantings along the riverfront, and also plantings around the site. This is not only reduces the demand for water resources, but also minimizes the runoff in the area. We are using all electric homes appliances, which is also a key factor to sustainability. This approach minimizes the reliance on fossil fuels and reduces greenhouse gas emissions, contributing to a cleaner, healthier environment. The further enhanced sustainability, the project integrates solar panels to generate clean energy. This renewable energy source not only reduces the project's carbon footprint, but also helps to lower the cost, energy cost for the residents. In summary, the project's sustainability elements encompass transportation, outdoor amenities, water management, energy efficiency, and renewable energy sources. By adopting these measures, the project aims to create a sustainable and eco-friendly living environment while promoting a better quality of life for its residents. And the project conceptual idea revolves around connectivity, mobility, and efficient land use. It envisions a harmonious relationship between the riverfront residential units and the town in general, with an emphasis on pedestrian-friendly circulation and thoughtful parking solutions. This approach not only improves the physical layout of the area, but also contributes to more vibrant and sustainable community, in our belief. We designed the building and facades according to the West Concord design guidelines and the neighborhood building analysis that we have done. There are predominantly two roof forms found in West Concord Business District: flat roofs and gable roofs. In order to maximize the interior usage and to be able to utilize the roof area with the roof decks, roof gardens, mechanical equipment, and solar panels, which are not going to be visibly apparent at the street level, we decided to go with a flat roof with decorative cornices, which is also encouraged by the design guidelines. And we can see this architectural feature on most of the buildings in the neighborhood. According to the guidelines, long, unbroken expanses of roofs should be avoided. And according to the forms suggested by the guidelines, private frontage alternatives, such as forecourt entries, arcades with columns at the street level, and awning storefronts. We have incorporated all of these features into our design to create a place that is in harmony with the surroundings. It is also suggested by the design guideline to modulate the building scale of the base, middle, and the top, separated by cornices. So we have a fiber cement and different colored cornices to achieve that all along the building. That gives a better character to the building. It is possible to see different facade materials around the neighborhood, such as wood clapboards, stuccos, vinyl sidings, wood shingles, etc. And the color palette also varies throughout the district. And most of the houses and buildings have muted colors like tans, white, and gray colors, as well as we can also see reddish, yellowish, other colored facades throughout the district. The houses across our building are mostly white and light grayish facades, and the building next to our lot has a brick facade and also another building with a lightish tones. So there are multiple different combinations that we could proceed with, but we wanted to go with more muted colors, like using light and dark grays and whitish color, white color palette. So on the first floor, we are proposing light gray stucco, and on the second and third floor, we are proposing white hardy shiplap siding, which are durable and water resistant, eco-friendly materials. And the decorative cornices are fiber cement, and the sizes and colors vary on the building's different portions, and using light and dark grays for the cornices as well. So we would like to keep it simple and elegant, so we are not looking to add more colors and more difficult, I don't know how to say it, but we would like to go with simple color palettes. And awnings are traditional elements of West Concord streetscapes for design guidelines as well. We used awnings to emphasize the storefronts, entrances at the street level for the retail space, and the third entry of the residential space at the parking lot side. Here, it is possible to see different color awnings throughout the district, and we are proposing a greenish awning, which we believe is a natural color and will be blend in with the trees. Doors and entrances are emphasized in the design guidelines, which are an important part of the streetscape as well. The entrance doors directly faces on the street and is centered on the facade, with storefront windows on each side, which is incorporated in our design at the retail space entry and as well as the residential entries. Decks, balconies, and porches are encouraged, so we have balconies for each unit to enjoy the fresh air and the views. We are proposing steel balconies and handrails in dark gray, which creates a contrast with the main white facade materials and takes attention. And we believe that we also created a rhythm throughout the building with the window placement. And I highlighted the buildings in the area and the architectural features that are common and that we incorporated in our design for the reference. Hope you like the design, and thank you for listening. We are happy to hear your questions and feedbacks.
Great. Okay. So I do have a couple of questions to kick us off, and I'd love to open it up to the rest of our committee members, and then after that, the public. So an initial question I have is about the affordable units that might be in this development. Could you tell us a little bit more about that?
Sure. So there are 2 affordable units that are on the 3rd floor. This one, unit number 7 and unit number 10, which is 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, and this is 2 bedroom, 1 bathroom apartments. They are going to be affordable, which is 20% of the total units.
Great. Okay. Let's see. I was wondering if your balconies and the roof deck space are being counted towards some sort of open space requirement on this project.
Yes, they are counting as open space, but we are still needing a relief from the open space since we are way below the requested amount of open space.
Okay. And could you show us again the new proposed driveway that would serve the building? Yep. Okay. And so it says driveway out only left on one of these. And so I'm trying to picture what that, okay, so.
I think it's only right, actually.
Okay.
Only right, yeah,
Okay.
when if we are on the parking lots on the right, but if we are looking at this direction on the left.
Okay.
So it'll be a right turn only.
Got it. Got it. Okay. And so people can come in and that other entrance, they can possibly go out on that, the driveway out that you've got marked there, but they could not come in on the driveway out because that would be like them crossing over the other lane if they were traveling towards West Concord Junction on Com Ave from Route 2. Like, would
Yes.
there be a do not enter sign or something like that to keep people from turning there?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I'd love to open it up to our other committee members to ask some questions as well. Let's see. If folks could raise their hand, that would be great. Oh, I do see. Okay. Anne, go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. I do have some questions. Look, I appreciate your hard work. You did a wonderful job, Helen.
Thank
I
you.
do have some questions. I do live here. I do bike here. There are a couple questions. I am a licensed architect. My first question is, did a licensed architect do any of these drawings?
Yes, we are working with a licensed architect, and he's reviewing. We are working with him on this project.
Okay, so here's the problem. Concord doesn't have a design review board. And I would argue that in other towns, this drawing would not be allowed in because it does not show the roadway correctly. Commonwealth Avenue has many crashes. Less than 200 feet from your driveway entrance here, your main one, a child had to be picked up by a helicopter because she was hit by a car this summer at 7 a.m. This is a heavy traffic site. When you show this drawing, you need to show where that there's a directly opposite is Minuteman Ottaway entrance. Cars are going in and out. You need to show that little traffic island where people are coming by from Route 2. You have not shown, this drawing is not accurate.
I disagree completely with you. I'm sorry.
Well, it is not accurate because I am a licensed architect.
We're showing I don't care if you're a licensed architect or not. We're showing a conceptual drawing. When we bring up plans before the building department, it'll be stamped by a licensed architect, okay?
That's fine, but it's very confusing.
It's not our
hold on, Ann,
responsibility
hold on.
to show you the whole area of what's shown on the parking area, okay? So I respectfully disagree with you as a licensed architect.
Well, I think it's, okay, I just find it very confusing because there is a driveway directly across the street. And because that is we did, I think, send you that it is this area of Commonwealth Avenue is a car crash site. And we're trying to make it safer for more people biking because of the rail trail. So it's,
Okay.
I also argue that I think that it's going to be, I was just actually at the neighboring driveway about 3 hours ago, or more than that, 7 hours ago now, at the bakery, and getting out of that driveway actually is quite scary. And I would argue that I don't think, unless that it will work, this exit sign that you're showing, all right? That
So, okay, and I love those comments,
That's
and
fine.
we're gonna take both of them into consideration as we discuss how we want to respond to these plans. Sorry, Anthony.
I just want to say one more thing. I think that the trees, that's a lovely idea, but you will not be able to see. What car drivers do now, they rush very quickly around that corner with those big trees. They won't be able to see. In addition, your 14 parking lot, number 13 and 14, if cars are parked there, cars from the driveway exiting from the bakery parking lot won't be able to see. So it's a hugely hazardous area. And if you're asking me as a mom, if I think this is viable, it is not viable. It can't work.
And thank you for those safety related concerns. Anthony, do you want
So I'll
to
tell you
say
what,
anything
there's
about?
new bylaws coming out with transit-oriented projects, so we can come back in April with the denser project. This is a nice 12-unit project, but we're happy to scrap it and come back in April with the 24, 30-unit project. That's how this is going to continue to go, because we've been pushed to beyond a point here that it's just ridiculous.
Anthony, I wanted to ask, are there some plans that I know you submitted a whole bunch of new ones to the ZBA on their current projects list? Is there a document that we should look at that shows the site with the other businesses and across across the street, what's happening? Is there a more comprehensive drawing that we as a committee should look at?
We have what's required under the planning board submissions, 200 feet, 400 feet, 1,000 feet. So those are there if you want to look at them.
Okay. All right.
But we didn't do a survey of the entire West Concord village and map things out. I mean, that's just ridiculous.
Okay. All right. So
if there's any other comments that are actual related to the project, we're happy to take them. Otherwise, we're done tonight.
All right. So I do see some other hands up. I would love to go to John if I could.
Yeah, it's kind of almost like a curiosity. Does that path, that bike walk path, does that connect over to the Bruce Freeman Rail Trail through the
so
behind the Distributive Bakery?
of course we cannot touch the neighbor's lot here, but we wanted to start the connection from the Commonwealth Avenue, and there is a pathway here which is walkable and bikeable at some point.
Mhm.
But as I said, we can only enhance the accessibility in our lots, so we cannot touch this, but we open this portion of our lots to the public use. So that's the point to the access to the Bruce Freeman Rail Trail.
Yeah, got it. And then, okay, and then on the EV charger, locations, this is kind of like a personal opinion, but you know, I think you want to plan for the long term there. And if you're doing site work, I think it makes sense to at least plan for more EV chargers in the future, just so you don't have to dig it up again in the future. Because you know, my personal opinion is that in 20 years, you're only going to have electric vehicles, and everybody there's going to be asking for a charger.
Yeah, makes sense.
Great. And I guess I'm going to interject one thing, and then I'm going to go to Anna. I just wanted to make sure these are slated to be condos, is that right? As opposed to rental units, or has it not been determined yet?
There'll be condos that'll be sold.
Great. Okay. Anna, go ahead.
Yeah, so I had two questions. Is the retail space, are there any restrictions on what kind of retail space, or is it anything?
It would be restricted from food.
So not food, but anything else?
Correct.
Okay. And my other question was just something I can't quite picture, which is this first residential unit on the first floor in the corner. It seems to me like that would be really exposed. Like there's a sort of a balcony area out in front, but it would be right on the street. Am I understanding it right down here?
Correct. The residential unit is here.
And so like when people, because you showed one image when you can see the corner and there's this nice wide path, but isn't that awfully exposed for someone living there? I mean, it seems like all the properties along Commonwealth and the main avenue are all they're all businesses. So there's this one sort of living unit.
Actually, like there is no business on this side, and also no businesses on this side if you continue going this direction. There are mostly
So that's the idea, that there's green space.
Unit. But on this side, you will start seeing the retail and commercial buildings.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, so it seems like the part of this building that has the balconies on it that I'm seeing that face the trees, like that is towards, Neshoba Brook.
Yes.
It's the furthest away from like West Concord Junction, basically, on this building.
Right.
Okay. All right. Let's see. I don't see any other hands up from our committee, so I'm going to go to Daniel Stapleton. Go ahead, Daniel.
Yes.
You're echoing a little bit.
Wow.
You might have two audio.
Yeah, there we go.
Yes.
Thank you. I don't know if I need to turn my camera on. I'm just trying to figure that out. Anyway, Dan Stapleton, 20 Conant Street. And I live about, I don't know, probably 500 feet, 800 feet from the proposed project. And, you know, my interest is as a resident here, but also my background is professional engineering. I do have a couple of specific questions and then just a general question. One question that I have about because my primary concerns are questions and concerns are this one, the traffic issue and the public safety issue, because I'm in that immediate area on several times a day as a pedestrian and also a driver. And so I'm very familiar with that area. And I'm also interested in the architectural design because this is really a gateway structure for West Concord. So I reviewed the VHB transportation report that was done. And in particular, and VHB is a very good firm, so I'm not really challenging that report per se, but I just did want to note that the ADTs were about 1,100 vehicles per day less than the study done by Jacobs pre-COVID as part of the cut-through study. So we have 40-some thousand trips coming on Route 2. And out of those, most of those are cut-through traffics coming down Commonwealth. So that report, which was also had a crash study and a traffic count, had somewhat different data than presented in VHB, had higher traffic count. So I'm questioning about that. It also, and I'm not, saying that I did a detailed review of these. I just read both reports and kind of side by side and looked at them without getting too detailed. But I also noted that the Jacobs report appeared to indicate greater crash incidents in that area, including a pedestrian one, a bicycle one, and this was only for a 2-year period, I think 2014 to 2016. So there was a overlap in the VHB study timeline with the Jacobs study. So, and it did include, the Jacobs study did include more of Commonwealth Ave from Route 2, from the circle going down to the site. But my point is, I think that the traffic is actually more significant than as presented in the VHB report. And I don't question their qualifications, but they didn't consider anything related to the sheer volume of cut-through traffic, which is the bulk of traffic we have. It's not local traffic. And I think their ADT was around 8,600, something like that, versus so about 1,100 more. So that's a very specific question about the crash count and the vehicle traffic count. On the architecture part, I'm going to leave this up to you to determine whether this is a inappropriate question or not. But this is a really key building. And the town has spent a lot of time with developers. And I'm not, I work a lot with developers, Anthony, so I'm not trying to frustrate you here. But this is a really critical building for us because it is kind of a gateway building as you come down Commonwealth. And I had gone to try and see if I could find some examples of the designer's work online. And it did not appear to me that they are actually licensed architects. All the architectural drawings that have been provided are site civil engineer. So I just kind of question that. And on their website, they seem to be primarily single family homes. So that could be a totally inappropriate observation because I'm not knocking the elevations that we're looking at or the architecture we're looking at. I was just trying to get a sense of, this isn't a single family house. This is a, pretty big house. This is a multi-use, multi-story building. And I didn't know if the designers had actually ever built a project like this before. I guess that's my question.
I'll address both your comments. The first one, as far as this Jacobs report, I don't have any knowledge of the Jacobs report, so I can't really comment on that. As far as the other traffic report from VHB, there was a peer review done by, I forget the name of the.
Yeah, I saw that, and
so we're responding to that because it was 38 comments of that, and we're trying to get through that. So we're responding to that. As far as the Spruan engineering team, I've been working with them for 20 years, and as you can probably see, what they've designed here is you want to talk about a gateway building. This is a gorgeous building. What's there now is a freaking gas station.
No, I get that, Anthony, but I don't want to beat this to death because I'm not trying to.
I think what we're showing you here and what we're trying to do to this neighborhood is awesome. But if you guys don't want it, then that's your call.
Well, yeah, I don't know that. That's not the intent of my question. I am trying to keep it positive.
No, I appreciate that,
but I guess have they ever done a multi-use, multi-story?
They've done probably 12 of them for me alone. So
okay, all right, because I didn't see them on their website, and I just didn't know who the architect was on the project. I guess that's a very specific question.
But when we get to the building department and have to file plans, I've built, I don't know, probably 70 projects with Spruan Engineering in the last 20 years. So they're good. Trust me.
Anthony, can I just interject? Would you be able to tell us, like, is there a website that we could go to take a look at Spruan's multifamily work? Is there a place that you recommend?
They work, I hire them, so I don't know that. I can find that out for you.
Who is he?
That would be great.
And Anthony, I just want to say one last thing on the traffic thing. You can that report is publicly available. It was done for the town of Concord. And it was pre-COVID, but it's relatively recent. So the traffic counts are still relevant. Certainly the arterial data is relevant. And you can get that. I don't know if you want to just mention that to VHB, because you can get that online.
I will bring that up to them. Thank you.
Great. I'd like to move to Cynthia. Cynthia Katz.
Now you.
Cynthia, are you able to speak?
I am.
All right, go ahead. Oh, could you give us your address, please?
Sure. 20 Conant Street. Same one as Dan Staple.
I made that connection.
Your thing off. Thanks. Great. Thank you for this. Sorry, we're tagging with two different computers. My question is really about parking and solar and EV hookups. I'm wondering if the developer has considered putting a solar canopy over the parking for solar so that we can maximize EV charging and solar. It seems like that becomes the moment when you're doing something new to put a canopy over the parking area, which is something that can provide energy and it can also provide shade. Since I'm sensing this parking is going to be asphalt, which isn't very environmentally friendly and isn't porous. So that would be a way to at least bring something else into it.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea that we can incorporate that into our design.
I don't know that a solar canopy is going to be more aesthetically pleasing. We're talking about a gateway property into West Concord, and we're going to have a solar canopy, but something we can look at for sure.
Yeah.
Well, solar canopies are becoming very common in a lot of new build construction. We could probably give you a list of places where it's happening. So anyway.
Okay, that would be great.
Thanks for that suggestion. Okay, so Anne, I'm going to call on you. Please keep it brief and also be kind in your comments, okay?
I'll be very kind. I think I am also concerned about the residential main entry. That's very, very dangerous in ComAv there. I'm not sure people could cross the street there. I think you really have to look at the transit situation. I also want to just comment that I think Daniel's comments were very well spoken. Were really brilliant. It's a very difficult site. I think part of the problem is Concord does not have a design review board like Lexington, Wellesley, West, and they all do, so that you meet with the traffic engineers, the planners first, so you get to understand how difficult this site is. It is a hugely difficult site. And I think that's what we need. Because it's going to get very difficult. The other problem is, unlike Rockport, which is a cultural district like we are, we also haven't aggregated our parking issues for our whole cultural district, which is what we need to do. We're doing each parking separately, whereas in other cultural districts, they combine it all. If this lot didn't have to have so much parking, it would be a much more beautiful building, more appropriate. So unfortunately, Concord is not up to date, and the developers are suffering, and we are too, having these extended conversations. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Anne. I do have a question also just about, I know that there is a grant application in to modify this kind of like intersection, which is called Kenneth Dunn Square, where ComAv kind of like sweeps over, and then there's another road that kind of I guess, abuts it in sort of a triangle formation. And I believe there's a grant application in to make that a little bit more teed off or straight as opposed to the curve. I was wondering if anyone on the development team had talked to Public Works about the status of their application or kind of dovetailing your development with that.
We've been talking to Public Works, but I'm not aware of anything about a grant, so, but we're happy to follow up with them tomorrow.
Yeah, right. You could tell them it's the grant for, I guess, teeing off Kenneth Dunn Square. They should be familiar with that. It's, I think, like a Mass Works grant that they've applied for, and they should be finding out soon if they got it. And if they did get it, then kind of combining what you're doing with what they've got going would really improve the traffic situation in this corner of West Concord a lot.
Sure, absolutely. Makes a lot of sense.
Great. All right, let's see. Anyone else have comments or questions for the development team here? All right. So if that's the case, what I'd love to do is for our committee to put together a much shorter letter than we had the last time, but something that responds to these new plans. I feel like a great deal of work has been done here to try and help mitigate some of the initial concerns we had, and we've gotten a lot of great suggestions, even today from the public and also our committee about ways that more improvements could be made, or what we like about this, or what we'd love tweaked. Does everyone on the committee have the appetite for us putting together a short letter? And putting
Hey,
her thumb
Susan,
up.
I raised my
John,
hand.
go
I
ahead.
had a comment or question that I just realized. Palin, you mentioned the new exit improves walker safety. I think that's what you said. Can you just describe the thinking on that for me?
So the previous parking lot was only having this entry and exits. So all traffic exits was gonna happen on this side. So right now we are allowing this to like be distributed throughout the parking lot. So the traffic is gonna be less compared to the old version. So we will be able to have cars out from this side, and it will also like benefit to the pedestrians using here. And also this.
Yeah, I do think, and I think we said this for the record last time, but maybe the action item just got lost in the conversation. I do think it, even just for reference, I think it makes sense to talk to the folks that are doing that redesign, because there's like that crosswalk there might change, for example. They might even be planning to do some work on that sidewalk. I don't know, but it makes sense to at least have that information.
So actually this design, that extended lot line, is received from the engineering department. So the place of this and everything. So we were in contact with them.
Okay.
So they sent us a sketch drawing showing the location of this new sidewalk and of everything, like we are using their plan.
Okay, you might just want to check and make sure that that's considering the proposed changes that they're making under the grant.
Okay, yeah, we will check them.
Yeah, it's the intersection of Comm Ave and Lawsbrook that is in question here. So it's, if you say that or Kenneth Dunn Square, they should know what you're referring to in terms of the future plans if the grant is approved. Great. Let's see. So back to our committee, I think it would make sense for us to put together a short letter that kind of expresses, what we feel is resolved about this, and then also any, remaining concerns and or tweaks that we feel are appropriate, because I think it would be helpful for the planning board to have that in hand when they take a look at these new plans. Do folks have the appetite for that? Do you think that's appropriate for our committee to do that? I know we've looked at this project a lot, but I feel like significant progress has been made, and we should acknowledge that, but also still remain a part of the conversation.
So moved if we need a vote.
Yeah. All right. So yes, I had proposed that we write a letter. John Well, John moved it, so maybe I'm seconding it actually. And then we should ask everyone else on the committee what they think. So just go in order here. Anne, do you agree?
I think writing a letter is fine, but as a licensed architect, I cannot approve this project. It is just, and the drawings do not show the danger. You've got, this is a 6-way intersection and the drawings don't show that. And this is a highly, highly dangerous area of the town. It does not work. I don't think this drawing or the site plan works. And in architecture, important thing is the site plan first, then the building. If your site plan doesn't work, the rest can't work.
Okay.
Site plan is
We'll note that and we'll make sure that we express these
and
thoughts
other
that you're
people may
bringing up.
agree, but as for me as a licensed architect, this site plan is a disaster. The Kennethtown Scare area is extremely dangerous. I go there every day. I've witnessed it. I know what it's like.
Okay, thank you. All right, so let's see, who else do we have? Anna, do you agree that we should write a letter?
Yes, I do.
Okay, Nicole, do you agree that we should write a letter?
Yes.
And Barbara, do you agree that we should write a letter? Let's see, I'm not sure I'm able to zone in on that. I think it says yes. It says yes. Okay. Thank you, Barbara. Great. So we're in agreement that we should write a letter. And what I'm thinking is that if you all want, I can get a draft started. It will probably be kind of a skeleton, and then we'll have to collaborate on it together, but independently adding our points in, and then it will turn into the finalized letter. Let's see. I'm wondering if anyone on the call, including the developers, know when are you all going to the planning board with these plans?
We're actually waiting for, I emailed, sent an email response out today asking that question. We know we're talking about going before the zoning board of appeals now in December.
Okay.
Because we're still waiting for the thing that's a holdup at this point in time is the peer review stormwater reports. And
Okay.
when we really kind of dead in the water, if you pardon the phrase and the context, until that comes in. So we're hoping at some point in time that we'll be before the planning board in November, and then before the zoning board appeals in December. So, but we don't have a date yet. I posed that question in an email today, and obviously it was later in the day, so I haven't had a response, but we don't have an actual date at this point.
Okay, well, thank you for letting us know that. I think our group will probably want to get together, sooner rather than later on pulling the letter's information in and getting that submitted. So,
I mean, that could change, and we could have a date at some point in November. So we'd appreciate if you do have a letter you want to submit, so we don't get held up in that regard. That you could get that in at your earliest opportunity.
Definitely. Okay, well, we really appreciate you sharing these plans, and I know you got a lot of interesting feedback, but this project looks like it has changed a lot, and I would say I think it's changing for the better. So we appreciate that you took the comments we had last time under advisement and are showing us this. I know that our town tends to be a little dangerous from a traffic perspective, and you're hearing a lot about that. So we'll take it all under advisement and put it in a letter and share it with you and the planning board.
Thank you, Susan. I appreciate your time. But to hear comments like the site plan's a disaster are just completely unnecessary, and they're not going to be acceptable by the development team going forward. So thank you.
Okay.
Thank
you for being here, and thank you, Palin, for presenting and showing us these visualizations, which I think helped bring it to life for us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Susan.
Thank you. Take care. All right, so we're nearing 8 o'clock, and I don't want to go too much over our designated time. In conjunction with writing this letter, I also want to propose that we possibly have an extra meeting in November to hear from another developer. We have the developer for the 13B building kind of back in the mix again with a revised plan that he'd love to share with us, because he's also trying to get into the whole cycle of going in front of the planning board and the ZBA. And as we know, that all takes time for that stuff to get scheduled. But that developer was interested in meeting with us prior to our December meeting. And I was thinking that if we did an extra meeting in November, possibly we would not have to meet in December and could take it off so that we could all kind of relax for the holidays. So I wanted to ask you all about some additional dates, and what we could possibly do is A, hear from this developer, and then B, polish off a letter that we prepare for the planning board about this 166 ComAb development.
Both of these are great ideas. I think we should do it. And I think
Okay.
meeting in person, we had talked about that maybe briefly if we could.
I would love to meet in person. I was kind of thinking about that for next year, to be honest. So we would do one more remote meeting, whether it happens, now in November, or if we have to have the December meeting, we'll do that. And then we can get on a in-person meeting schedule for December, or sorry, for 2024. And so I do want to also ask folks about the location for those meetings. I have some ideas, but love to go to that after we figure out when in November we could possibly meet again. So I want to propose either November 8th or November 29th, both of which are Wednesdays. November 8th is actually next Wednesday and might fit a little bit more into this schedule of trying to put a letter together for 166 COM. And November 29th is much later. I don't know if that's going to work with our whole letter plan, but maybe I can throw it out to our committee who would be able to meet on November 8th.
What time?
7 o'clock again. Or we could change the time if November 8th is doable, but we just can't do the 7 o'clock time.
No, November 8th is the Warner's Pond meeting.
Oh, okay.
So-
All right. That is good to know. All right. So that is that a public hearing day?
Well, it's a public meeting. Yeah.
So it's is it the meeting of another committee though, I guess is what I'm asking.
Oh, no, it is, it's the NRC is going to present their follow-up plan.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, that sounds like something that we don't want to conflict with. So let's see. I know the 15th isn't possible for the particular developer I'm talking about, and the 22nd is right before Thanksgiving, so I wouldn't put that out here. Well, would folks have the ability to meet next week on, say, Thursday, the 9th of November?
I can't meet on Thursday, the 9th. I could meet on Tuesday, the 7th.
Okay. Anyone else have input on next week? Availability for the 7th or any other day?
It's Tuesday, the election. It's election day. I don't know if people have to vote after work or something, but
Could we meet at 7:30?
I'm okay with that.
So Tuesday is actually a planning board meeting.
We could have a
Um,
quick meeting, just quick.
The meeting could be quick. Well,
Yeah.
I think we had
Because we want to follow up with 13B. That's a really important project.
Yeah.
I was saying, Susan, I don't know if this is right, but because if we support it, we want to really support it, but we were saying, we already wrote an endorsement letter and he's basically updated the plans. It's going to be recorded. They're going to be meeting minutes. Letter to re-endorse it or not. For expediency, it might be enough to just vote that we're in support of it, something like that.
Right, for that other project, if we hear about it and we are in support. So
The 13B,
Yeah,
though, we have to get an update on it, though. There's a lot of curiosity about it, and it's been empty, because of COVID and because of supply chain issues and increases in, real estate development costs. It'd be really interesting to talk with him and show our support and see what he needs.
right, yeah. So I'm looking now at the week after next, and I'm thinking, what about say Tuesday the 14th of November?
Perfect.
All right, so Anne, that works for you. What about everybody else if we did a meeting at 7 o'clock?
Sorry, you said Tuesday, the 14th?
Yeah,
Of November.
I know that's a planning board meeting that is
I also,
happening.
I also
but
can't
have
do
to-
that.
I
okay.
have to, I guess, attend so that they can.
All right, planning board, right, okay. So maybe, is it that Tuesday the 7th? I have Tuesday the 7th as a planning board meeting, but it must not be if there's one on the 14th because they do them every other week. So,
What about the
And then-
9th? What did we say about November 9th?
I'll be in Washington, DC. I can't
are
make
you
it.
available to join remotely though, or no?
I'm gonna be at a dinner.
Okay, all right. All right, what about the 16th of November?
It's perfect. Perfect, anytime.
Okay, what does everyone else think?
I can do the 16th currently. I can do it.
Perfect, anytime.
Okay. All right, what about other
And
folks?
Thursday, the 16th?
Well, hold on, we're not confirmed on that just yet.
I'm
Anna,
not in town. I'm not available that night.
you're not.
I'm at a dinner.
All right, let's see. Well, so Linda, you, no matter how quickly things go, you won't be a member of the committee yet by this time. Not that
Okay.
I absolutely,
Yeah,
I absolutely want to include you, but I'm gonna see if I can figure out how all the members can be here for
Sure.
this.
I didn't
And then
know
you
the
could-
time or turnaround time once I go to the
Yeah.
14th meeting.
Yeah, I think that then the select board would get you. So that's what I'm thinking it'll be at least a couple of weeks. Okay, so let me ask, Anna, are you available on the 16th and on your
Yes.
all-knowing calendar? Do you see any conflicts? So you're available, great. At 7 on the 16th? Okay. And John's currently available, Anne's currently available. Nicole, what do you think about the 16th at 7?
I'm available.
Okay, and then
I
Barbara,
wasn't
you were.
invited to dinner.
I know, I feel a bit left out too. All right, so 11/16, 7 p.m. I think we've got confirmation from all of our committee members that that's workable right now. And I will send an agenda over to Elizabeth that we're going to do this meeting then. And the two things on the agenda will be to hear about 13B and then to finalize a letter about 166 COM.
Really good.
Okay,
Great
and
meetings.
I will put kind of a skeleton together of the letter that we can all kind of circulate around and then really get down to business and perfect it during that meeting. Okay. Does anyone have any other business we should talk about before we adjourn? All right, great. So I propose that we adjourn the meeting. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second.
Great, great. I think, let's see. Anna, do you agree that we should adjourn?
Yes, I agree.
John, do you agree?
Yep.
Barbara, do you agree? Excellent. Did I miss anybody? And I agree that we should adjourn. So thanks, everybody. I appreciate you being here, and you'll get the agenda plus a skeleton letter from me on 166.
You rock.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you, and great to see you all. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.